in the heavy planning. So at this time, I officially call the meeting to order, and we're going to do some introductions, and we're going to do that for the benefit of our viewing audience so that they know who's here and what people's responsibilities are. I'm Dave Clifton, happy to be the chair, and our vice chair is also here, Dale Carister. Let's go around the room and introduce each other. Go ahead, Ken, why don't you start it?
I forgot.
You forgot who he was.
I forgot who I was. You caught me by surprise. Ken Michael, business liaison.
Off to a great start. Fred Ames, honorary co-chair, along with my brother Bill, who sends his regards and is recovering from RSV.
RSVP.
No. He didn't RSVP. Anyway.
I'm Jeanette Kamara, and I'm the treasurer.
Wait a minute, introduce yourself.
Amanda Hurley. I am the co-chair of the kickoff event and the gala and the merchandising.
Anne Marie Taylor, and I'm doing everything within the
Michael Good, Marketing and Communications Chair.
Bill Carister, Vice Chair and Community Liaison.
Rosalind Miller, and co-chair, assistant secretary, co-chair of the cookbook, and co-chair is Lorraine.
Diana Lusari, secretary, co-chair of the cookbook, and the Arts and Cultural Festival with Joan Lundgren.
Alex Pupkin, my son here under duress, but Courtney Pupkin, fundraising chair.
Well, thank you all. The first item of business is to approve the minutes of our April 23rd meeting. Everyone should have received these in the mail. We thank you, Diane, our secretary,
Okay, we have one change.
and Roz, our assistant secretary. Go ahead.
Roz brought to my attention that there's one under Dave Carister, Community Partners Report, the second paragraph down, I had written Council on Ages. Council on Aging, horrors.
The Council for the
We're
Ages.
quite forgiving here.
I know. So that would be
Speak for
the
yourself.
only change.
Any other changes? How about if we vote on the minutes of the April 23rd meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of Tuesday, April 23rd.
I second them.
We have a motion by Roz,
I second the motion.
a second. Who was the motion made by?
Diane made.
Diane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Any
make a motion?
conversation you'd like to have? Any additions, subtractions? Let's call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes of May 23rd, if you just raise your right hand. You're all sworn in. Nobody opposed?
Excuse me, April 23rd.
I meant April 23rd. Thank you, Ken. All those in favor, you voted. Those opposed, it's unanimous. The minutes of April 23rd are carried.
And Dave?
Yes.
I don't know if everybody remembers.
As amended.
I'm sure they reviewed the minutes of the Barnstorm meeting on Tuesday, May 14th. I did send out those minutes. Wait, give us a moment. The brainstorming
What did I It's a good thing they showed up to
I know.
Yes, we are talking about the brainstorming
The
meeting.
brainstorming meeting.
I kind of like the
Everybody received those in the mail.
Motion to,
Shall we vote on those or just,
I make a motion to accept.
we have a motion
Second.
and a second by Ken. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Unanimous? And again, I want to thank you, Diane, for posting
Okay,
both those meetings.
okay, and one comment, Fred. Your emails get kicked back to me, but then Joan said you're getting them.
Yes.
Okay.
That's weird.
It's so strange, I get notification that they're not going through.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Apparently they are.
Yes, some get it, some don't. Yeah. Okay.
That says that the mailbox is full.
Could that be?
No,
No, it's a glitch.
it is a.
But I just don't want to leave you.
No, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the report of the chair. And I'll certainly try to be brief. I know there's a lot of things that we have on the agenda that we need to discuss. And we are going to need some motions. And I just wanted to mention to the committee, and I gave you a copy of a proposed schedule. The parade committee has strongly recommended that we change the parade date from July 4th to July 12th. The reason being is vacation times for people in the community. They also thought that they would have a better chance as a committee to recruit bands and groups to be in the parade. With all the parades that have been going on for years, it's kind of an annual thing for a lot of the units that participate in parades. And I think it makes sense. A couple of committee members have been talking about it. So I thought I'd open it up for discussion. If anyone had any additional suggestions, the committee again is recommending the 12th of July, which happens to be a Saturday. Doesn't interfere with anything else going on, and it kind of divides up all of the events that we have proposed. Some have been approved already. No discussion, no questions?
Mike has a conversation.
Go ahead, Mike.
Is there a 4th of July parade for the town hall or no?
No.
No. All right. That was my only concern. So we're moving to the 12th, which is totally fine. I agree. I was just making sure that there wasn't an event the week
There's no
before.
conflict, there's no conflict.
Now we're doing 2 parades. So we're all set. That would be the only parade in July. Perfect. All right.
And the guy that runs most of the parades is the guy that's coordinating our parade for the 300th anniversary. Any other questions or discussions? All those in favor of moving the parade date from July 4th, 2025 to July 12th, 2025, 300th anniversary year. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
So moved, by the way.
Second.
Yes, we need a motion and a second before we
Thank you.
call for the vote.
It's done.
And that's why you're the vice chair.
No, that's actually Diane over here.
Yeah.
I was losing at the switch over there.
You get an extra cookie anyway.
How would you know those cookies, by the way?
All those in favor of the motion, I don't have to repeat it.
Just say.
Raise your right hand.
It's good.
Those opposed?
There's more cookies. Show it to you.
The motion is carried.
I wasn't.
So if you happen to be watching, Corey, your wish came true. And we look forward to a giant parade. The next item on the agenda that I'd like to mention is there's been some discussion about where we're going to have the bonfire, where we're going to have the fireworks. There's been discussion about should we move the picnic and concert from the Governor Ames Estate on Flag Day, which is June 14th, 2025? Or should we keep it there? The fire chief has had the opportunity to speak with the superintendent of schools. We understand that he also met with the school committee, has their approval with smiles on their face. They're happy to host the June 14th fireworks display at Sharon High School, no, Sharon's,
Oh,
Oliver Ames High School, and it'll be at the lower field. And it won't be on the diamonds to cause any issues with the athletic community. So, the bonfire, the same thing. The bonfire is scheduled for October 11th. The rain date, if it happens, is October 12th. And the same thing with the fireworks on Flag Day, which is scheduled on June 14th. The rain date would be June 15th. We have are working hard to try to find a bonfire site, a fireworks site. And we got something new we're going to propose later in the agenda, and that's to have 2 fireworks displays, which may be a surprise for some folks in the committee, but we'll talk about that later. I'd like to know what your reaction is. We thank the fire chief for working together with the school department. He's one of the 2 coordinators of fireworks and bonfire. Any discussion?
Yeah, I think that the bonfire just goes without question. We've already got the location. It's been tough to get one. We've got one. I would say that having the bonfire at the high school makes sense. Secondly, I think that having the fireworks there makes sense. And obviously, they're a couple of 3 months apart, so or maybe more than that, maybe 4. So it certainly makes sense to do that. I also think that we should discuss at this time the fireworks on January 4th. I don't think we should separate these. I think we should have one discussion and cover them both now, as opposed to later. And at the present time, as I understand from Amanda and Anne Marie, they're simply waiting to hear back from Stonehill as to whether or not they can have fireworks on January 4th, the opening event. And the only thing that's holding it up right now is that Stonehill has just gone through graduation and they have class reunions this weekend. And so therefore, they'll be getting back to Anne Marie and Amanda at some point after this coming weekend. So some point after Monday the 3rd. And I think it makes sense to have fireworks at that event. Stonehill's a good location to do it. And I would suggest that we vote to have a second fireworks display, i.e. on January 4th at Stonehill, subject only to having the condition that Stonehill approves it. So that's what I have to say about that.
It's a good suggestion. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I know we talked before about, for the Stonehill event, the possibility of doing a laser show, but looking at the budget items, I think doing like a fireworks thing would be a great alternative to that. And I just like the idea. I think a lot of people find it unusual having fireworks in January, a nice way to kick off the whole celebration of the year, so I'm fully in favor of doing both.
Any other discussion?
The other thing I might note too is it would be a smaller setup than what we had previously talked about in terms of budgeting, because the recent fireworks at Stonehill celebrating their 75th anniversary ran approximately $12,000, as opposed to the numbers we had been talking about previously, which were in the $25,000 for the fireworks that were originally proposed for the trustees. So it's less money. I think there's money in the budget that can be allocated to do the fireworks on January 4th, once again subject only to approval by Stonehill. The other cost that is not quite clear yet, but Chief Alexander can probably give us that, is that Stonehill will require having a fire security group there during the fireworks. I don't know what the cost of that is, but we can certainly find that out from the chief. So that's the other piece of information that goes along with it.
And just to add to what Ken said, we're really talking about a mini fireworks display after your event. Anything you want to say about that time?
Nope, our event will go till 5, and then there'll be kind of an hour, people will linger, and then have the time to get to, outside to settle down for 10 minutes, a 10-minute fireworks show,
10,
or less.
10
yeah.
to 15 minutes.
I think you said 8 minutes?
The show at Stonehill was 9 minutes and 36 seconds. So.
Yeah, so in the 10 minutes.
But who's counting?
Who's counting? Not him, obviously, but Yeah, so they would just give us that few minutes, and sunset is at 4:34 PM that day, so by 6 it should be dark.
Very good.
So people don't have to leave and come back.
If there isn't any other questions or comments, I think, number one, I think we found a good site to shoot the main fireworks off at the high school in terms of parking, location. The place is lit up for people who are walkers, that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead, Mike.
I have a question. So January 4th is the first event, right? So that's going to start at what time does that start? 1 to 5.
Yep.
And then at 6 o'clock.
Six.
6 is fireworks.
Yes.
Everything.
But it could be 5:30, we have to talk.
And then I'm assuming you're also trying to attract people people will see them, just to come for the fireworks if they don't come to the event. as
Yeah,
well, right?
they
Okay.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Mike-
plenty of parking. and
Mike, they
everything.
can be seen, when Stonehill did its 75th anniversary about a month ago, a little less, they held the fireworks right in front of you, familiar with the slope to the big house at
Yeah,
Stonehill?
yeah.
So if you came in from 123 and you went straight ahead,
Mhm.
the fireworks were right up on that hill in that general area. It's
Okay.
fenced off. So you can actually see it not only from the campus, the lower campus all across, you could see it from 123,
Okay.
you could see it from 138. I don't know about the opposite side because I wasn't around there,
Alright.
but it's a pretty panoramic view.
Okay.
At the, just one comment which I thought was pretty cool, at the end of this, I wasn't at the Stonehill one, but at the end of it, the fireworks company told me they did a big in gold 75 for the 75th
Right.
anniversary, and I said, oh, wouldn't that be lovely, we would never, you have to
300.
build a special
Right.
thing for it, and I said, yeah, we wouldn't have that in our budget. He said, it's the 300th, right? And I said, yeah. He said, we have a 300, so we're just gonna throw that right. I think that's
Oh,
really
very
gonna
nice.
be.
Yeah, so we won't have to have special ones either, it's already there.
Right.
That'll be a great photo.
Yeah, that would be really good, definitely.
Before we vote on the fireworks, as I look at these cookies, they look like they're lit up like fireworks. I did want to vote on the bonfire, and again, I'll repeat, the plan is to have the bonfire on October 11th with a rain date of October 12th. It's going to be a 6 to 9 event. It'll be co-chaired by the fire chief and myself. The plan is to possibly have food there as well, and there'd be a concert. And again, that would be at the lower field at Oliver Ames High School. And I'm going to call for a motion.
So moved.
A
Second.
motion by Dale, second by Ken.
Only short names. can-
All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. The bonfire is carried, and it officially becomes part of our program. Let's talk now about the fireworks. Please applaud if you so desire.
If we've been fighting that bonfire
Yes.
location a long time, so.
That's amazing that they came through it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the fireworks. We're going to need a motion, and it was suggested by Ken that we have 2 fireworks displays, 6 months apart. One will be the mini fireworks display in January. What a great way to start the month off, by shooting something in the sky, a blast off. And it'll be scheduled at 6 p.m. after our first event on January 4th. And we're going to find a way to pay for it. And we're waiting for the approval of Stonehill College. And we're going to work in terms of security with Stonehill. And of course, the fire department and the chief in terms of having an engine at the location. All those in favor of the motion? Now, before you do that, why don't we have a motion
The
first?
motion is for 2 firework displays.
Right.
You want to do them both at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
One
All
on
right,
one on June 14th.
Let me just
Why don't you-
remind our
Go ahead.
viewing audience
Yeah.
that the second fireworks display will be scheduled. I got all these dates in my mind. June 14th, which is Flag Day. It'll be at the lower lot, I should say lower field, at Oliver Ames High School. Fireworks will go off at 9. The concert will be 7 to 9 p.m. And we hope to have food there as well. It'll have nothing to do with what's going on at Governor Ames' estate. And it'll also involve our local police department in terms of security for that major event. So we haven't had fireworks for a while, and now the plan is to have it 2 different times. That's what makes this 300th anniversary
Let me just clarify, my motion is to approve fireworks on 2 separate occasions. The first would be on the evening of Stonehill on January 4th, and the second would be on the evening of June 14th, Flag Day, at the high school.
And, yes, and is the budgeted amount still the same? Split 2 ways, because that also, does that matter? No?
No, it doesn't.
That doesn't matter.
Our plan is
We'll
to
figure
come
it.
up with
Courtney, it's
some
not being
additional
split.
money. It's going to be
Courtney.
half that cost.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
No problem. Let's.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale Carister.
As long as we
Do we have a second?
I will second the motion and reiterate that the January 4th fireworks are subject to the approval by Stonehill.
Correct. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Look at the camera and smile. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried by a quorum here of our Tricentennial Committee.
Okay.
And now you can applaud. Terrific. Wow. Okay, the next item on the agenda, I'm going to pass over to Dale, our Vice Chair. Dale, do you have any additional things you'd like to bring up or comment on as our Vice Chair?
No, nothing to report tonight, so I'm going to hand off to whoever's next.
Good handoff.
Thank you. Move it along.
Diane.
The next item on the agenda is going to be committee reports. And Diane, we're going to start off with you, unless Roz has something to add. Secretary's report for our committee.
Okay, we've just approved the minutes of brainstorming on May 14th and the official meeting on April 23rd. I think that might be it. I posted the agenda. I will post the approved minutes.
Strong word.
Oh, and I've gone to I'll tell Jeanette, because it's her domain. I did go to the P.O. box today, and it's been empty all week.
Okay.
And no envelopes.
No envelopes, and I did monitor the email address. I got one that I
Roach
forwarded.
Brothers today,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I forwarded to Courtney and Ken. About a banner, right, Ken? You must have gotten that.
Thank you, Diane Lasati.
That's it.
Diane, sorry, P.O. Box, I got an email from Brian at Red Ball that the pewter shovels are being shipped to the P.O. Box. I asked for him to ship them elsewhere going forward, because I'm not, I assume that they'll hold them at the post
I'll
office
probably get a
for you,
card.
so
Yeah.
just keep an eye out that they've been shipped.
They've been shipped.
Yeah.
Did he give you any indication when they might arrive?
I will forward you the email that may have tracking in it.
Okay, very good.
And, yep, I will forward that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And again, we encourage those folks that are watching tonight, the envelopes, please. Now, I'm only kidding, but anybody wishing to volunteer some time for our celebration in 2025, or maybe make a donation towards the cost of the celebration, we very much appreciate it by our committee. Let's go to the Treasurer's Report. Jeanette Camara.
I do have a couple of invoices that need to get in the minutes. Last month, The chairman, or actually this month, the chairman approved a $150 invoice to Albert Bass Associates for some brochures. And I have the invoice for the shovels. I know we approved the purchase of the shovels. Shovel pens. But the invoice is for $1,423.85, and that's to Any Promo. And also a reimbursement for Amory Taylor for $47.06 for posters, kickoff posters. Other than that, I know I wasn't here in April, so in April we got 6 pole banner donations in totaling $1,800, and in May so far, still have some time, we've had 5 donations for pole banners plus an extra $1,000 from Shaw's. So between April and May, we've taken in $4,300. And that brings our total right now to $92,413.95. That's actual cash received, not pledges.
$92,413.
$413.95.
The flyer that you had. Now, was there a copy of the flyer from the you had printed, that she mentioned?
No, they're posters. The posters? It's just
Floor
a
plans.
floor plan poster for the event, which was forgotten by them.
Oh,
But will be here in June.
Okay, any other questions that you might have you'd like to ask the treasurer? Thank you, Jeanette.
So I think we're gonna need motions for those invoices.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the invoices.
We have a motion by Ken, a second by Dale. All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous by our voting members. Thank you, Jeanette. The next item on the agenda, I'd like to pass over some envelopes that I have. They're all Easton residents. They either live in the town or have businesses in the community. They would like to donate to the celebration and pay for the cost of banners. So I'm going to give the envelopes first to our fundraising chair. She's going to take...
No, because she takes them, she scans them, and then she sends it to me.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Thank you.
I won't send them to you until next week.
The envelopes.
That's fine.
And I also have some sheets that have been filled out by people
Then I'll take
who already donated.
those. I'll take. Thank you.
And I had the honor of being able to get 8 commitments since the last time we met. People are buying into the banners, and we really appreciate it. We just want to remind our viewing audience that you can still get a banner. Our hope and plan right now is to have 90 banners scattered throughout Main Street in Easton, Center Street, the parade route, the 5 corners, and that Main Street also includes around Memorial Hall. The banners cost $300. They'll be up for almost 14 months. We had a low bidder, the printer, who also is going to donate his banner, so we're not going to charge him for it. But people want to be part of the celebration, so I'm kind of excited about it. A lot of checks haven't come in yet, but they will be in the next month. My goal as I speak to people is we'd like to be able to get these banners printed in either June or July. We're going to go in with 2 batches. We're going to go in with a heavy load in June or July. Then we're going to go back again in August with all the remaining banners that people are purchasing. Want to let the viewing audience know that the name of your business, or maybe your family's name, would go on the bottom of the banner. We're encouraging people who are either residents of Easton or have businesses in Easton, that they give some consideration to that. It goes towards the celebration, and it's going to brighten up the town, no doubt about it, when you see all these banners up. We thank the Department of Public Works and Dave Fields for taking on the responsibility of putting the banners up and then taking them down. They're going to go up in October of 2024. They're going to come down in December of 2027. So it's all part of our celebration. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that they're going to know that there's a celebration going on. Let's move on the agenda. Committee reports, subcommittee reports. We'll start with fundraising. Go ahead, Courtney Pupkin.
Okay. I have this on my phone. We do have a couple copies, and we can pass around. I sent it via email, though, so you don't have to take all this down. So right now we're at 252,000. That's out of 365, our goal. So we have 112,300 to goal. 11,700 of that is from the pole banners, and we have some comped pole banners, 9, and there are 10 sponsored pole banners. So 11,700 is for the new money pole banners, and sponsor income is 241,000. Thank you, Alex, for showing me on TV. We have, let's see, we have everything other than the kickoff party sponsored. We have one $15,000 level, we have one 10, we have 2 at 5,000, and 2 at 1,000 so far. And the total banners, I know I just spoke about that. We have 58 banners in total, and like I said, 19 of those are new. Since the last meeting, what the new money is $10,000. We had a $10,000 Lane Water community sponsor come in, and this is public info. That's from Travis Road, so thank you, Travis, if you happen to see this. And the reason, to end my report, I just want to say, we've been in transition with dates, and I knew the bonfire and the kickoff, I knew a lot of things were changing, so I was waiting to continue fundraising until I can now update our flyer now that but except for the fact that do you know when we'll hear from Stonehill?
I just said that a few minutes ago, that we won't hear until after the 3rd because they have reunion next
June
week.
3rd.
June 3rd, that's correct.
Oh,
Next
okay,
month.
that's not far away.
That's right.
Okay, so certainly after then, I want to get the form updated again. I think it might be the 15th revision. And then I will be bringing it home as far as that one last signature event, $25,000 sponsor, and the rest of the income that we need to have raised. I still have a huge list of people to reach out to, but I just want donors like the information to be accurate that you're giving to them, so I'm just waiting. But now I'll get these changes started and get back into it. That's it.
Very nice. Nice job on that. Very nice.
Dale.
I'm next.
Yeah.
So I'll be continuing on with the community outreach program through the summer and fall. And if anyone knows of any organization, I'm happy to go do a presentation to their board or whatever meeting that they might have. Similarly, I'm happy to sit down with folks for coffee. So if they just want to do a one-on-one to learn a little bit more about what the Tricentennial is and how the organization can help out, just let me know. And for anybody who's watching, if you are interested, just shoot an email to dalekerester@gmail.com. That's DALEKERESTER.com.
Can you repeat that, Dale, just in case?
Sure. Yeah, dalekerester@gmail.com. DALEKERESTER@gmail.com. And I'm happy to come talk to your organization, whether it's community service, whether it's youth sports, whether it's a church, temple, and so forth. Anybody who would like to partner with us in any way that you're interested in, we're happy to do a presentation for you, perhaps give you some ideas. Similarly, if you're interested in providing, if you don't want to have a separate event, but you're interested in helping with people power at one of our events, let us know as well, and we can link you up for that too.
Terrific. I also want to thank Courtney for the fundraising effort, and Dale for your willingness to visit groups in town that would like to hear about the celebration. We would enjoy that. Our next subcommittee report would be from Ken Michael. He has the responsibility of businesses as well as the historical events.
What I've been doing is just simply reaching out to businesses, utilizing the banners as a, excuse me, as an entree. Just so you're aware, I intend to have virtually all the banners somewhere in the vicinity of about 15 or so, that maybe a little more by the end of June. So I would suggest that you look at July as the date of going to the printer. Also working on the other side with looking toward planning for historical events that we will utilize to fill in the gaps between the signature events, and the Easton Historical Society will have events of those kinds. There are other organizations in town that are working on events as well. I can't speak to that, but I do know there's some ongoing planning going on for 2025 and events that will take place between the signature events. So that's what I'm doing.
Thank you, Ken, and he's doing a lot of extra things too, above and beyond. Let's go to Mike Good, who is the marketing and communication person on our committee. And thank you, Mike, for taking care of the Memorial Day Parade to help promote our celebration.
Well, actually, thanks goes to, first of all, the organizers of that event for allowing us to participate. And more of a thank you to the Boy Scouts that actually carried the banner and I walked behind them, so thank you to them. And they actually want to get involved. So much perfect.
Is that 193 or was it 42?
Wasn't taking dash numbers out. But in all seriousness, it was a great event. It was great to have a banner, go down the street. From talking to Dave before the meeting started, we might want to look to find a location to put that banner, maybe on the fence of the high school or somewhere, but just because it has a lot of good information on it. It better served there than in my garage. So that's that. The other idea that Dave was talking about was putting some signs or signs up at entry points to the town, similar communication on what's on that banner. Congratulations, 300, 2025. So I'll be working with Dave on that. And the regional has volunteered to make those signs, so we'll work on that. We'll talk about that. The biggest pieces are in terms of the website. Now that we have some dates and locations, I will work with John to update the calendar so we actually know when the events are and where they are. Again, some of the particulars are yet to be determined and we can add those as we go, but some of the events are just TBD right now on the site. So that'll be good to get some updates there. Additionally, we have intake, so for community outreach and for the poll banners, we're now checking out once a week to see if anyone's reached out to the website. There was no one this week, but it's another port of entry. So if you're out there, easton300.org, the website, there's opportunities to communicate with us about volunteering, purchasing the poll banner, and then obviously information from us to you in the community about when the events will be held, where they'll be held, and things of that nature. So some work to be done on the website. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's basically it for now. Yeah.
Terrific, Mike. Again, Southeast Regional Vocational High School has agreed to do some wooden signs. Mike and I have been talking about the possibility of 4 signs. I wasn't necessarily saying the wooden signs would go at the entrance. There are already plenty of signs that as you enter Easton. I was thinking mainly of 4 different locations. And I've asked Mike to design a wooden sign that the committee could look at. And he also is going to come up with some suggestions of where they could be located. These are only 3 or 4 wooden signs that promote the celebration that could be up for a period of time, so people are gonna get used to the 300th anniversary and the year. Any questions at all that you might have of Mike, although Mike is not here right now? Any questions on the signs? There's been some discussion on the agenda in the past about doing something as we enter the community. But if you take a look at all the white signs that, and they look terrific, scattered throughout the community as you enter, do you see the need for putting anything else up there regarding the celebration? Or do you think we should stick just with the wooden signs? Southeast Regional will do it, or we just have to pay for the wood?
Which is expensive.
Any comments?
My
Dale, go ahead.
recommendation is we should bend over backwards and get the word out to folks, because I think we're going to find we're going to get into early 2025 and people are really, what do you mean there's a pole banner program? I mean, that's always a challenge, getting the word out to as many people as possible. So I'm fully in favor of as many different ways as we possibly can to help get the word out. So wooden signs, and if there's anything else we can do as well. So social media, Facebook posts, where you wear, that kind of thing, just little teasers to help get the word out.
Is it possible to get a pole banner or two made and put them in the center of town? Or one on Center Street and one on Main Street? That's just a generic, like Easton 300 or whatever, the logo plus the website that we could maybe get put up this summer so people can see it around and inquire about that?
Just put it in the first group of banners that come out.
Yeah,
One banner.
maybe do like just the logo and then easton300.org in the sponsors section, and then maybe put one up on Main Street, one up on Center Street, something like that, so that it, like Dale's saying, you kind of, people get to see what it looks like in person for anybody that still wants to purchase one, and just so that it's visible.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Anne Marie?
Would it be possible, do you think, while school's not in session at the high school, they have that light up sign as you go down the street, that they could maybe say Easton 300 for more info, and then something like that?
Then give the website address.
Yeah.
What do you have to ask for permission for?
I would think
Yeah.
the superintendent.
That's what I would guess too.
These are suggestions I think that Mike put his writing down.
ECAT also has like different community announcements and so forth as well, so it's helpful to get on that list as well.
We can do town crier as well. So, yeah, there's a bunch of good. Yeah, the sign at school's a good idea. I don't think they have one at the regional, but they definitely have one at the so we can look at that. The other things were, well, I guess it really won't matter at that point, but don't forget we have the billboard coming, but that's more, your ship's already out to sea at that point, right? 'Cause it's going up in January, so. Okay.
Good suggestions. A great way to promote the celebration. We'll do some follow-up on that. The next item was the parade committee recommendation, which we already voted on. We've already, I passed out a sheet. The next item on the agenda is a list of events. Everybody has a copy of it. And one of the things I did want to mention, that this was all thinking about getting it approved. And I'm hoping that after tonight's meeting, that we will have an official schedule with all the events. And believe it or not, we're back to 8 events. That's what we started with.
Well, are you
Because
talking
we're all
about
separated.
item 11 on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so don't we have a report before that though, number 10?
Which one, Ken?
Number 10.
Merchandise.
Merchandise,
Yeah,
merchandise
I'm sorry,
report.
yes. I'm
Very
sorry.
arrested, jeez.
Take it away, Amanda and Anne Marie. We're going to talk about merchandising, and a nice job in putting all that together. Wow.
Yeah, we're finally finally there. So Jeanette has a few invoices. I have one more to send over this evening that I got today right before this meeting. And then Brian and Matt from Red Ball and I have been working together to get everything ordered. He did mention to us that our logo may be a bit large for the embroidery that we currently are planning. So he's gonna get back to me with either an alternative recommendation on any way to simplify the logo without really altering it much. If there's a possibility of that, so I'll be reaching out to Piper on that. Or making it a little bit larger, like on the sweatshirts. It's really the sweatshirts that are embroidered, everything else, and the aprons. I recommended those get embroidered. I know that we are waiting on a few mugs, and we're waiting on some more tote bags that I believe I saw on my Ring camera arrived to my house this afternoon. So I will bring those to the next meeting. And other than that, we're just ready to roll. I mentioned Diane to keep an eye out, and I forwarded you the email with the tracking. It's UPS. So those pewter shovels should be here, I would say, in the next week or so. That's it. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's it.
I was just gonna make a recommendation that invoice that you have, let's get that voted tonight.
Okay.
Otherwise, it won't get voted until June and won't get paid until June.
Sounds good. I'm on it. Do I forward it to you now?
Can you just tell us who it is and what the amount is?
I
And then you
can.
can forward it to me.
Yep. It's for the tumbler cups, and it is from Simple Modern, and the invoice is right here. It is for 50, quantity of 50, plus a setup fee, so it's $1,749.50.
So we'll make a motion to approve that invoice.
Second.
We have a motion by Jeanette, seconded by Dale.
Give that one, Ken.
Dale did. Let's give Dale the point. Dale did it.
Who seconded that one? You get the
We're gonna give it to
I'm gonna
Ken.
give this to
No, don't give it to me. Give it to Dale.
Don't fight.
And a third by Ken.
Okay, I'm taking credit for it.
Dave, you
All those in favor of the motion,
okay.
raise your right hand.
Right.
Those opposed? It's unanimous.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations, Amanda and Anne Marie. From your experience, somebody asked me that question. Do you really think you'll sell most of that stuff that,
I do think a lot of it, yeah, especially like the t-shirts, baseball hats, sweatshirts, I think those will all be really popular. I do have the Red Ball team found us a really cool, we looked at the Christmas ornaments that you sent us and that Ken showed us. We also got one from, or we haven't gotten, the sample may be at my house. It's a custom shape, which I think we would do the logo. Or we can do the shape of the town, like the outline of the town, put the logo in the middle of it. And it's metal with enamel. It's very nice. It's really classy looking. It's heavy. So if we wanted to, I know we have the pewter shovels, so we may not want to do an additional ornament, but it is something we can do. I'm getting a sample just so we can see it. Nothing else really stood out to me. They had glass ones and kind of the plasticky ones, and we didn't like those. But those are a few, yeah. So I'm getting a sample of it so we can touch it and decide. And if we don't want to do it, that's also fine. But I'd rather have too many options and then we nix them than say, oh, I wish we had done something else. So if there are any other merchandise options that you guys want to see, please let us know soon so we can get samples and bring them to the next meeting. I think we're in really good shape. I think we have about 22 items, and that's really good. We're going to organize everything into clear plastic totes, containers, label it all, and I will have a inventory list with all those boxes. So as we're at events in the future, we can mark those. And also, we're maybe working on getting the square. I don't know if anybody has any update from.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's okay. If you could please look into that a little bit to see what we can do. We are just needing somebody to work with us to get all these letter number things done. I have no idea what they are, but legal things done so that we can have like a friends group to
friends group.
to
Can't
it
even
at.
Forming
We
a
can't
friends group.
offer, we can't offer credit card payments at this time. So right now, we could take checks and cash once we get the first group of merchandise. But we will still need to place a second order, so it's nothing's set in stone yet. We have a little bit of time, but we definitely want to try to get the ball rolling on that because it can take a little bit of time. So
Were we gonna try and get Vendel?
that's all part of this, yeah, to be able to do.
So be able to-
Yeah.
So it sounds, the payment intake, sounds like this is the delay in the question I have is there a online store or are you envisioning just doing it all in person? Either way is fine, I'm just curious. 'Cause
Yes.
there's no link on the site.
Dale and I talked about that actually at the brainstorm meeting a little bit, and maybe utilizing some part of the Lions group to help us with some online stuff, like an online fundraising type of site that we can sell items and then they'd pick up potentially somewhere in town, whether it be at a Lions event or like a porch pickup kind of thing. So we're still thinking about that. I do think that would be nice, but haven't set anything in stone on that. I think we need to get the payment piece moving first, and then we would set up a Square account and hopefully Venmo to be able to take at least a Square account.
So whatever you want from the website perspective, not to sell, like in terms of how.
Like a catalog or something.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Because I definitely think that's something that should be on the site. Right?
Yeah, I think once
Whether
we-
it clicks to another website where it says, see you at the next event, whatever you decide.
Sure.
It's totally fine with that.
I think once we get the merchandise, we can take some like photos of it all, real live photos of what the items are. I think that would be really helpful, and then maybe we can put together, like I can put together some kind of multi-page PDF to then kind of as like a brochure catalog that people can see, and we can post it on the website, and then maybe we can just put some dates of upcoming events that we'll be at selling merchandise. Like we're gonna do a few Lane Water events and things like that. So maybe NRT if we can.
Is it your plan, Amanda and Anne Marie, to sell at each event? And at the same time, do you need volunteers to work
Yes.
with you?
Yeah, thank you. So that's definitely the hope that we could do some kind of table at each event. We are working with the Red Ball team to get 2 tablecloths for 6-foot tables. And we're gonna need 2 folding 6-foot tables for that. And then we'll hopefully
And we
be able
have
to
banners and signage that you could use.
signage, banners, yep. And then the tent, the pop-up tent that's at the town, the DPW, I think is where you said it is. We'll want those all for the events, and then we'll have the totes of merchandise to, go to each event as
We're
well.
also gonna have so it'll be easier if it's not Amanda or I, that are gonna be doing that particular event. We're gonna have everything. You know how when you go to the theater, everything is just in front of you? You're not digging through everything. This is what I want, like on a big board, like this is what I want, that's what I want, that's what I want. So we're gonna try and minimize the touching and the taking and just have everything super organized so somebody can just come to my house, get the bins, get the board, get the square, and then go from there.
Yeah, easy setup, easy breakdown, everything will be in the totes. And then, like, oh, I want this pen, I want the cookbook, and then pull it out, give it to them, be done.
Maybe wheelie totes.
Wheelie totes?
Yeah, because that sounds like a lot of schlepping.
Yeah, we'll see.
Of
We haven't got the totes yet because we haven't got the merch yet. So once we get everything, kind of see the quantity of how much we really
And also have to
we'll-
fit in a car
And fit in
as
a car.
well, so you
Yeah.
have to keep that in mind. And, they're not gonna be filled to the brim. If somebody needs, different size, we can arrange it. We don't have it, we'll arrange a porch pickup or.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Before we move on, just want to update you, what we're trying to do also on this is to have an online store. The challenge though is I understand we can't use the town's system for payment processing and so forth. And the question is whether we can set something up without having to create a separate non-profit that would then be the entity that would have that link to the online store. And I'd like to avoid that if at all possible, because once you do that, you have to do the accounting for it, you've got to file with the Secretary of State and so forth, your annual report, and, tax returns. It's a nightmare, nobody ever follows through on it, in my experience, and kind of drop the ball.
I can second that motion.
I denounce that motion because I do it for the Friends and I do an excellent job.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the motion of people not following through on those kinds of entities. Even
Yeah,
today,
I
I just got
probably right.
it's something.
I mean, at least it's only 2 years that would have to be done, you know, once December 2025 rolls around, nothing's gonna be sold after that, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if we did have to do that, you know, 2 years,
2 years.
and then it's done, right? You don't have to file
Probably
after
18,
that.
at the most, you're probably talking 18 months,
Right,
at the very most.
so it'd be like a 2024 file and a 2025 file, and after that, you wouldn't have to worry about it. So maybe it wouldn't be terrible, because it's not
And you-
ongoing, but,
And you wouldn't be looking for an IRS designation of a nonprofit. You could just simply set up an LLC. By the time you could do that,
Still gotta take your tax ID.
no, you gotta get a tax ID number. I'm not talking about a tax ID number, that's separate. The designation is a 501c3 or any of the other ones. You wouldn't need it. If you were here in the state, it's my understanding that you could set that up as a company LLC. And as long as you're not for-profit, they'll consider you nonprofit within the state.
True, but you still have to do your filings.
I understand that. I'm not suggesting that you don't have to
Right,
do an
I'm
annual
not
report.
sure that's my point. But then what we're also trying to do is to see whether the Lions might be willing to have sort of a pickup station at the thrift store, since they're open every Saturday, where they could have certain of our merchandise there. So for those folks who would be purchasing online, that they could pick up at the thrift store. We've done that with the Lions auction in the past, but that was a more discreet event for the winning bidders. And I have to follow through with the Lions board to see if they'd be willing to do that. And, they'd have to also have some mechanism for updating so-and-so picked up these items, that kind of thing. So that's the other thing I'm looking into.
Can I ask, Dave, can I ask, so, is that, because it's not merch related?
no, what's that? Yep, that's it.
We were talking about invoices and.
Unless anybody had any other questions for us, I'm good.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, shall we move on in the
I
agenda?
have a question,
It's time for number one.
So, I just want to circle back to something I mentioned, which was the billboard. So Dave had a conversation with them and did a good job of shaving off the last 2 months of 2024, so that we're only going to have the signage in 2025, and got our price down a couple, was it 25 grand total?
$2,700.
Right.
And now they're taking the taxes out.
Great. So who's paying, but, so I just want to make sure that that has to go through the town, right? So I just want to make sure that in terms of, from the billboard company's perspective, there's a contract floating around, is that been put in front of the town administrator?
The contract, if it's 25,000 or more, the contract has to be approved and signed by the town. The Board of Selectmen have to approve it.
All right, so.
Anything under 25,000, the town administrator will sign it.
Right.
So we need to put that in front of the.
Well, that's on the way.
So we're waiting for a revised contract,
Yeah.
right? Which would then go in front to the select board, presumably for their approval and
Are
signature.
you going to get that to us?
I'm going to get it,
Okay, that's what
and
All right,
I've been talking with Sean, the assistant town administrator,
perfect, that's all I just want to make sure that that was.
and it may be under 25,000 because of not having taxes on it.
Keep calling them, we'll get it down.
I'll stop now.
Perfect, all right, I just want to make sure that was.
But I think that's terrific news, that we saved $5,000,
You just sit on it.
and we appreciate it. These cookies, by the way, are not just for Ken and I.
What do you mean?
It's for Ken and Dale.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I've already been partaking.
The fact is, help yourself. Anything else, Amanda and Anne Marie? Can we move on?
Yep.
Thank you very much for all that hard work. I remember people's eyebrows were up in the air in another town. Why are we getting all that merchandise? It turned out, they found out that they sold most of it.
Good.
So it's a good thing. I'd like to go back to the agenda of our signature events. I have 8 listed on this sheet that you have in front of you. And most of these have been already approved by the committee, including the dates. We voted on some changes tonight. Amanda is looking forward to getting the finished product so that we can put together something that we can eventually give to residents in the town they keep asking that question, what is going on that year? Does anybody have any questions? Do you need more time to look at this? We voted on most of it. We even have rain dates if the weather is not appropriate for certain things. We know when the block party is. We have now 2 sets of fireworks. That's in here too. I was thinking out loud that you might approve it. So I have everything on this sheet of paper, including the change of the parade date to the 12th of July. The sooner we get the schedule out, the better it's going to be for us to promote and to get the word out to people who are asking questions. Any comments or suggestions?
Again. Is the name of the January 4th event Easton 300 first event blast off?
No, it's not. So it's actually going to be the kickoff to the Tricentennial. If I guess, do we need to, I don't know,
Kickoff,
if we need to
okay.
vote on that, but.
Kind of wordy, you know?
About Tricentennial kickoff.
Yeah.
Tricentennial kickoff is fine. Yeah, I just,
I like
we
it.
don't want the word party in there and just keeping it simple. So yeah, Tricentennial kickoff is fine.
Tricentennial, so you like kickoff?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
They're all in on kickoff.
yeah.
Somebody had asked me, is there a football game going on? But we know what it is. And Tricentennial kickoff, does everybody agree with that?
Yes,
Does anybody want to make a motion
I'll make a motion.
to accept the schedule? A motion by Ken?
Can you just give 1 second?
Yes. Who's the second?
What?
Dale.
I said, give me a second.
But
She said, give her a second.
Diane.
I'm taking my second.
Diane has a second.
Was it
No,
different
no,
second?
no, Diane wants a
Different
second.
It was like.
Diane just wants a second before we go forward. She just
Oh.
wants a second to do something.
I'm sorry.
So she's checking something before we move on.
You want a second? Go ahead.
Okay, so the Easton 300 Art and Cultural Festival, Easton 300 Town Picnic, Flag Ceremony and Concert, right? The flag ceremony, does everybody know what that is?
Yeah, I was going to go over that on the agenda, but I guess if you're going to vote on it.
Yeah, I mean.
My plan was at Governor Ames Estate, I'm glad we're using it. It's another piece of property that we can use. We're thinking of having a town picnic from 12 to 4 p.m. I thought it would be a good idea on that particular day, because it is Flag Day, to honor the veterans. I was thinking of getting the Massachusetts large flag, takes 40 people to hold it. Invite all the veterans in the town of Easton to come to this event and salute them. And the music could be some military music in the background. It would be a nice event. It would involve refreshments, music, and of course, the picnic.
And the concert.
And the concert.
Concert goes with it.
So how do you feel about that, folks?
It sounds great.
You just said 12 to 4, or on here you've got
12 to 4, because in the evening, we have the concert at the high school and the fireworks.
Okay, because this page says 1 to 4.
You've got a different time on the
So
other
it's
page.
12 to 4.
It's 12 to 4.
It's 12 to 4?
Nope,
You've got,
that
Dave,
everyone.
we got 1 to 4 here.
Yeah, a couple of people got sheets that had the blast off on it. That's the wrong sheet.
Oh.
This one right here. It says Easton Town Picnic, flag ceremony, 1 to 4 p.m. It's the same thing as this.
Yeah. I was thinking 12, because
Okay, so this is
1 to 4 goes by pretty quick between the ceremony, the music, people having a picnic. Diane, you must have the sheet that has the wrong thing on it.
So are we going to go with 12 to 4, or are we going to go with 1 to 4? I would think that 12 to 4 makes more sense, given the number of things that we're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds
I
good.
Me
agree.
too.
Okay,
So
so
we need to make a motion, Dale, or is that okay?
Well, we could do
We
that.
have a motion.
Well, Ken already had the motion, and I'm seconding it.
Mike has something to say.
Go ahead, Mike.
I thought when we went through this exercise before, we agreed that everything was going to be Easton 300.
agenda.
So we just went from Easton 300 blast off, kick, whatever we were calling it. It should just
Kickoff.
be Easton 300 kickoff,
Yeah.
not Tricentennial kickoff.
Fine.
Okay, I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, but that's a good
for
point.
branding.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good
what's
point.
hard is that the logo and everything else says Tricentennial, but now everything else is saying Easton 300. It's very confusing having things both ways.
Yeah, but that's,
No, but, no, I agree, it should be all the same, it's just
Yeah.
not. It's
yeah,
very
but
different.
you can't change the logo right now. That's why,
No.
that's why the time is at 3
He
o'clock
said
on the
300.
logo.
Right.
Because that was a
Michael,
comment
you
I
are
had
correct,
made to
because we
what's
voted
it, Piper's
everything to be
that
called
Yeah.
300.
So we should, yeah, we did vote it, so we
Okay,
should.
folks, if we can narrow it down to just one at a time speaking. Right now, we have a motion on the floor. And Mike, we certainly are going to take into consideration what you said.
Okay, thank you.
Everything is Easton 300, although we're the Tricentennial Committee.
Okay, you know, it's not, Tricentennial means 300, so it's not inconsistent to say that. And if all the other events are Easton 300, I think if you want to be consistent, just make Easton 300th kickoff, and then we've got that
There you go.
resolved.
That's fine.
Sounds good?
That's good.
Mike, you feel good with that?
I'm so much happier.
Oh, my God. We're happy.
Mike, your wish is my command.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Who made the motion, please?
I did.
Dale seconded, which is not a surprise. All those in favor, raise your right hand. On the singular events, we have now 8. All those opposed? Nobody's opposed? The motion is unanimously carried. Hallelujah, we have a schedule. And I'm going to send everybody a copy electronically so you have it with the corrections.
Can you also fix the kickoff time is 1 p.m., starting at 1 p.m.?
Do you want it at 1?
Yes, that was our,
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been
it's in
at
a room that's one.
Yours is at 1,
yes,
We're gonna,
but the picnic is at 12.
and right, yeah,
Yeah.
it's 1 p.m. to, I guess,
6, 5?
It's 1 to 5 and then fireworks at 6.
Good.
That's on January 4th,
Yes.
correct?
right.
So again, and maybe I'm repeating myself, I'm going to send everybody a copy of this with the corrections. And Amanda, right now, you have something to put together that we can have at
Yep,
the next meeting?
I just have to update, Diana, I hate to ask you again, but do you guys have time for your arts festival?
No,
Okay,
because Joan couldn't make the meeting and we weren't able to meet before now, but
okay,
we will.
okay.
If you could
So
get
now
that,
That'll be the only one that
Yeah.
I'm missing then.
Yes.
Okay.
and Diane will give me a copy, seeing she lives next door. Okay,
I'm gonna move.
moving along on our agenda. First event, the kickoff event. Amanda and Anne Marie, what have you got to say about the event itself, not so
Okay.
much the fireworks?
We have a few quick things. We have our budget. So I'm gonna pass that around here for everybody. Actually, I don't know. Just go on. So walking in the door, we have quite a big bill from Stonehill starting off. So we had to kind of take some of our events down a little bit, which is fine, which includes a facility rental, the custodial fee, canvas police, and the liquor license, since we are doing the beer garden with Shoveltown. That's agreed on, we're good with that. They'll be selling the beer so that all their liability is on them. We're gonna kind of rope off that back area, back right corner, if you will, of the gymnasium at Stonehill, and we're going to use that for the beer garden. And some food, so we're definitely gonna do, I think maybe like charcuterie or something for people to be able to purchase likely. Pretty much the only thing that will be for purchase or not free at our event will be the beer garden and any food. Stonehill will do food that they're selling, and then we will decide if we can do anything in addition. In that beer garden area, you'll see most of the way down on this top section, this Mike's Music Vendor, we were able to secure 2 skee-ball machines, some race car machines, and a multicade machine that has like 60 old school video games on it that I thought would be really fun in the beer garden area. We also are gonna see if anybody has, or maybe we can get donated by somebody, like a cornhole board that we can do with the logo on it. I thought I heard somebody talking about that a really long time ago, and I could have made that up, but we thought that would be kind of fun in that adults area. Next to that, and we're gonna next week bring kind of a floor plan, or next month's meeting, we'll bring a floor plan so you can all see it. But we're gonna have this band called the Toe Jam Band, which is a really fun kids concert, and we're at something recently in town. They were very recently in town for something else. They're very popular with the little children, so we're gonna do 2 of their concerts during the day, one on the earlier side, one on the second half of the day. And then a few other events. We're gonna have a roller rink that is indoors, and it's gonna be on the far side of the gym in there. It's pretty big, and it comes with like floor covering, and it's really safe. They've done events, that company at Stonehill. They have not done the roller rink there. So we're just waiting to get Mark from Stonehill's approval on that, but we don't see a problem with that. And then Party Vision will provide us with some inflatable things for all ages. There's an inflatable axe throwing, an inflatable obstacle course, and then for the little guys will be the mini ball bounce. It's kind of like a ball pit type of area. And then one thing that was talked about at a couple meetings ago was opening the time capsule from this 275th, opening that at our kickoff event. So Joan sent us a contact in town who makes custom cookies. They're sugar cookies that are custom with our logo. We are hoping that we could do a cookie and coffee station for that. It'll be by invitation only, and it will be like the 30 minutes prior to our event. So it'll be 12:30 that day. We'll do that. We're hoping maybe the committee would pay for the cookies and coffee station, because it's not really part of our event. It's just kind of tacked on to it because we ended up with the first event of the shindig. So I think that's something to consider. We don't need an answer yet, but it's something I would like to propose to the group.
Do you think the Southeastern Regional High School could make the cookies?
They're also not in school during that time, so I don't foresee how they could do that.
How many cookies that was?
It's 100. They're $5 a piece. The quantity's not there on the sheet. That's just the total. So they're custom. She paints or whatever, something as an option with the logo. We also can go a different direction on those. We don't have to do that. And then Stonehill has not provided us pricing on a coffee station, but we were hoping to do kind of like a coffee hot chocolate station with that as well. Again, it's by invitation only. You all decide who is being invited.
Right.
So
Is Stonehill going to let you do that?
yes.
Is they've talked to the food service people?
Yes. Yep. They did approve that if we
Okay,
wanted
cool.
to do that.
Okay.
Because it's by a licensed baker.
Yeah.
And then again, they would provide the coffee station. We pay Stonehill directly for that. So I don't have a cost on that coffee station, which is why it's blank, but it's something we would like to be able to offer during that day. So just in that 30-minute time frame, and then take it down. It's not for the whole day. It's just that, I don't know how many people everybody was envisioning inviting to the opening. So I think that's a discussion for a future meeting, but just keep that in the back of your mind.
I think Dave has spoken to several of the markets who are also willing to donate food and whatnot, and we could probably save $500.
I don't know that Stonehill will let us do that. I can ask.
Well, let us bring in pastries?
We don't think so.
I
I mean, they do have their own, food company, and typically we'll have to go by what their food and bev.
Don't complicate it.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
They have a contract with Sedona.
So they'll let you bring
It's a
in
new company now.
But they'll let you bring in the cookies?
No.
because they don't do that.
Because their food service doesn't actually do the custom cookies, they're letting them bring it in.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Gotcha.
everything's gotta go through Sodexo.
Everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
understood.
So we're gonna ask them to provide some, food for, kids, adults and all that.
For purchase.
Throughout the day to purchase.
For purchase,
Right.
pizza, hot dog, whatever they want to do,
Right.
but it's up to Stonehill, they can do what they want, and
Yeah.
that will be for sale.
And then there's some other, things we don't have on here that we're looking at doing, and then be at a little nominal cost, like a photo booth in period dress. We have somebody making that for us. And then we wanted to do something with the Toll House cookie. We also have to talk to Stonehill about,
Right.
making chocolate chip cookies, so whether
Let's do
we,
that.
and having somebody pretend to be that person. We've got maybe some kids craft, we have somebody to do permanent jewelry, we've got Yasso, which they're allowing us to have in, because they're giving away samples.
In Poland.
And then,
And pull
yeah,
ourselves
so we've
in,
talked
yeah.
about all that. So, and also we want to work with the Historical Commission on a timeline of Easton, so people can see that through the years, through the 300 years. And we've got a lot of ideas on that and some videos.
Yeah, and so Ken, maybe we
So
can
we'll
get
meet
together
with Ken
and,
on that.
maybe Piper can assist us with design on that, if your
Sure.
team doesn't have
Excellent.
anybody to do that, I think that would be.
That'd be good.
Amanda and Anne Marie, what are your plans if we have snow or rain? You gonna be using any facilities indoors?
Everything is indoors.
Everything is indoors.
Everything's indoors to
Everything?
start.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all right.
so everything is indoors. If for some reason we got snowed out completely, like, Stonehill said, there's 6 feet of snow, we can't open the parking lots, then I think we can do a snow date, but I don't feel we need to really put one in place. Mark did confirm that we could do the 2 following weeks. The week after, the students are not back from break yet, so if, that would be the preference week, because there won't be any students on campus still, which is nice. So that's it.
Anything else?
Well, I can add that Ruth Wakeler's recipe is in the cookbook.
Yay,
Her
okay, great.
original recipe. So we'll be selling cookbooks at your event.
We sure will.
Yeah,
Yes, we'll have a merchandise.
station.
We'll have a merchandise booth.
Yes.
And one of the posters that we got approved with our floor plan will have the front lobby area, and that's where we'll put the merchandise stuff, is out in that front lobby, and including cookbooks. So, yeah.
How about if we kind of absorb what you have submitted?
Yep.
And maybe at the next meeting, we'll have a chance to look at this, and
No
any
problem.
additional questions come up, we can vote on at the next meeting.
Yep.
Anybody feel any differently about that?
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. That's excitement. You got the first event,
Yeah.
so it's
We're ready.
it's nice that you've already gotten yourself rolling here.
Yeah, so yeah, if we could get votes
Let's move
on
on to
those at the next meeting, that would be good, so we can
12.
get
Secure
those
the
secured,
vendors.
yeah, get all those vendors secured for those dates. They're already kind of penciled us in as a hold, understanding that we can't give them a deposit or pay the invoices or anything until the committee has voted, so they're all good with that.
The next item on the agenda is going to be the Art Festival, Art and Cultural Festival. Joan is not here this evening, and she's co-chairing it with Diane. Diane, do you have anything you want to say, or do you want to put this
No.
off until?
Yeah,
Nothing, nothing to add at this point.
This might be a good opportunity, Fred, to thank you again for hosting this meeting as a co-chair, honorary co-chair. Is there anything you might want to mention before I move on to the agenda?
Not at this point, we're just very happy to have these events at the hall. So please continue to use
Thank you.
us.
The next item is the parade. We've already discussed the parade. Is there anything, Roz, you have to say about the parade as the secretary?
Well, we were able to change the date, and the band that Corey had a verbal contract with was able to change to the 12th, so that worked out. And right now, Mike is going to create a one-page flyer and talking points so that we can go to the organizations around town to see if they want to participate. So we have no meeting scheduled yet. We're waiting for Mike to do all that. Is it Mike good?
We have 10 members right now, Roz, that are participating, and that's going to double and triple as time goes by.
Yeah, there weren't many people at the meeting, but
Did Craig let room?
He did come to the brainstorm.
Okay, anything else, Roz?
no, it's in the grades.
The next item on the agenda is the town picnic and concert. I was going to talk about the flag ceremony, inviting the veterans. We've already discussed that. So we can move on. Dan and Jamie are not here to talk about the block party, but their date is September 6th. We have that on the schedule. And anniversary gala. We're back to Amanda and Anne Marie. I know you've got meetings coming up.
Yeah, so Stonehill, and is it Bon Appetit?
I think so, yeah.
The catering company. Last time we had a big meeting with them, they said sometime in June, I believe, that they were going to reach out to us for a meeting. So we won't really know anything on that once we get the food cost. And we've got the other most of the other costs, you know, DJ, whatever, all the things. So we just need to put that together for a ticket cost, and then we'll go from there.
We're gonna meet with Dave in the next couple weeks to discuss some options, you know, band versus DJ, and kind of just a few other details that we can do ahead of getting these food costs. So again, once Stonehill finishes this round of events, we should be able to get ahead of that so that we can get our ticket price, so we can get the word out to people to start selling tickets.
Selling tables.
Tables, yes, exactly.
And of course, we'll be talking about that menu, which is going
Yes.
to require another meeting with the
Yep.
caterer.
Yeah, and the chef was very wonderful, and I think it's, you know, they're used to doing very, very large groups, so I think he'll come up with something very nice for us.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is our anniversary book. Chris called me, he couldn't make tonight's meeting, but he is meeting with his own committee. He is planning on taking photographs. He is going to enlarge his committee, and he's excited about doing it, but because he's not here, we're going to table that discussion and go on to some other good news, which is the cookbook for the year 2025. Believe it or not, she come up with 300 recipes, and she's got something to share with us tonight. Go ahead, Diane. Time's up. Only kidding.
We're finished. We're finished, and I'll pass this around to you. We'll share recipes, and then you can pick. Oh, where's the phone? Right here. Would you mind, Alex, bringing that over to that picture? Thank you. My little assistant. So, I don't know if
Here,
you'll
I'm just
photograph
gonna
well,
just give a real
but
fast.
Monica Hurley Lawson gave us permission to use her artwork. So that's going to be her. Beautiful. It looks pale here because I think the library printed, and the library's ink was sort of faded. But that's the front cover. It's beautiful. And this is the back cover. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the logo, just in shadow. It's going to be really nice. And then I won't put these up, but we've got this first page
What's that?
with the information. Again, cookbook cover art by Monica Hurley Lawson. And it does state cookbook sponsored by Kim Michael.
So we can delete that.
Would you want to put your company name? I didn't.
No.
What? I have to delete it?
I think we delete that. We delete
Yes,
that. I don't
we do.
need to-
I mean, you were kind enough to donate.
Yeah.
Fund. That's Ken for you. You can dedicate. It is. It's the sponsor. And then there's a brief...
Isn't that ironic, Diane?
Huh?
Isn't that ironic?
Yes.
That the guy who can only cook scrambled eggs for 3 minutes in a microwave
Oh, I
gets on the front
embellished
page.
that recipe. Wait, I'll send it to you.
I think that's totally inconsistent.
And then there's an introduction page, and I did very little on the history because I...
We'll
didn't
talk
want to get
about
into-
that later, yeah?
Yeah, Ken and I will talk about it. So we have that, and then we have the committee page, if you can share, with the logo.
I won't share.
With this thing, and it also states there, I don't know if you noticed, bringing families and communities together.
Yep.
Which is the key. So that's the cookbook, and the good news is, you're gonna have that.
Good job.
We
Wow.
got 300 recipes. The 300th recipe is Dan Anderson's coffee flavored vodka. So he
What?
said that to me, it had to be number 300.
What is it?
This was the
So-
300th.
I know, but what is it? Coffee flavored? What?
Coffee flavored vodka.
Oh, vodka.
Why would you say vodka?
I thought she said butter.
We'll have to make it someday and have a party. So in the past 2 days, I got a request to put more recipes in. I was not going
Is that anything like an
to do
espresso
that, but we now have 306 recipes. That's a story. We've done it. That's it.
Congratulations.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice job, Diane.
Yeah, Linda
I noticed that
Clifton.
somebody spilled some yellow paint on the back.
Oh, I know, really. Linda Clifton and Roz are
Reviewing 300 recipes.
93 pages of recipes.
Good job.
That will make you blind.
And the cost is so much less than we thought, so we will make a big profit, very big profit, huge profit.
Don't
So
say
I
that on
think we had
TV.
talked about getting 300 books, but I'm thinking more like 400. They will be available probably by this fall, but I don't know if we'll sell them then or wait till January 1, January 4. So we can talk about that, but they will be available.
It would be nice if you have them for the holiday season at the end of 2024. if
Yeah, you
possible.
You could do like
We can get them for
a limited
holidays.
run.
We've got the brewery night, the trivia night that they're introducing now.
Oh, what is-
Tricentennial beer, that is September
September?
6th or the 13th.
We did.
I
This
think
Yeah.
this
This
September.
September. Yeah.
We'll discuss it. We were thinking,
Up to you.
we'll see.
But you
Anyway.
you can always do a limited run, like,
Yeah.
50 available or something, only at that event, or only at,
True, and they
Something.
could be included with the apron. It
yes,
could be a special.
yeah,
But anyway, we're done, and it was
that's amazing.
a lot of work.
Nice job, Diane. You and your committee have done a wonderful job to
Thank you, we did.
get things rolling. And it's truly amazing tonight, before we adjourn, how many different things happened at this meeting tonight. We moved forward with our schedule. We made a decision on the parade change. We decided to have 2 fireworks displays. It's terrific. We're showing progress. Things are happening. We have 2 meetings coming up during the month of June. The 4th Tuesday of the month is going to be here at Memorial Hall. Tuesday is going to be at Queeset House. And they both start at 6 p.m. Before I call for motion, I'd like to thank once again ECAT meeting with the community. And again, we thank our hosts for tonight's meeting. And anything that anybody else would like to say?
David, I want to thank you. You really, I don't think, well, probably everybody does realize how much you do, but you do an awful lot.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I was happy to bring the cookies tonight,
Yeah.
along with Amanda's. Right now, we're gonna call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Dale.
Second.
Seconded by Ken. All those in favor of adjourning, raise your right hand.
And say goodbye.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, don't forget, take your